Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, program organizers, good morning. I greet you all. Human trafficking is a transnational crime that involves the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of individuals through force, fraud, or coercion for exploitation. It is recognized as a modern form of slavery, affecting millions worldwide, especially women and children, who account for 70% of all trafficking victims globally. Human trafficking is a multi-million-dollar criminal industry and one of the fastest growing crimes worldwide, generating a lot of money in illegal profits annually. They make it one of the most lucrative criminal enterprise alongside drug and arms trafficking. Human trafficking takes various forms depending on the region, demand, and vulnerabilities of victims. Forced labor is the most widespread, which includes labor exploitation in agriculture, construction, domestic servitude, and mining. Sex trafficking affects victims who are often exploited in prostitution, pornography, and escort services. Child trafficking is another growing concern where minors are exploited for forced labor, begging, organizing trafficking, organ trafficking, and child soldiering. Human trafficking in Africa is driven by poverty, armed conflicts, weak governance, and rapid digitalization. Nigeria is a major hub for domestic and cross-border sex trafficking, with victims frequently trafficked to Europe, particularly Italy and Spain. These traffickers increasingly use online platforms for recruitment, transportation, and financial transactions. It is noted that some Nigerians have been recruited through online job frauds or false travel agency claims to lure victims on apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Telegram. The Nigerian embassy in Dakar has been involved in facilitating numerous repatriation efforts to return victims stranded in Senegal and neighboring countries after being rescued or escaped their captors. The mission engages with numerous human rights and non-governmental organizations in regions such as Kedugu, gold mining sites, which are most affected by this crime. These organizations include the International Organization of Migration, Free the Slaves, and La Lumen. The embassy also engages the Nigerian community in Senegal and Mauritania to identify and assist victims of human trafficking with the view to repatriating them back to Nigeria. Government contributions to the fight against trafficking. Human trafficking is a crime against humanity and a violation of fundamental human rights, both local and global, and targets the most vulnerable in our society, especially women and children, as well as undermines national security and development. To fight against these menace on humans, the government has adopted a multi-sectoral approach in combating this crime. At the forefront is the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, called NAPTIP, which continues to lead efforts in investigating information to strategize and improve capacity of the agency. The government leverage on the effective action of non-governmental organizations as another key pillar of our strategy. NGOs have been vital partners in victim support, community education, rehabilitation, and advocacy. Furthermore, to effectively curtail the negative effect of trafficking, the government has enhanced our legal framework through the Trafficking in Persons Enforcement and Administration Act, which empowers law enforcement agencies and sets clear penalties for offenders. Public awareness campaigns are ongoing across rural and urban areas, aimed at educating citizens on the dangers of trafficking and how to report it. The legal framework will continue to evolve to meet the growing challenges of human trafficking in line with the developed national policies and strategies and strategic action plans that guide the coordinated response across relevant ministries and agencies. The government also engages traditional as well as religious leaders in the society to advocate and preach against trafficking and its evils. In addition, government prioritizes the safety and well-being of trafficking survivors through the creation of shelters and rehabilitation programs that offer medical care, counseling, legal assistance, and vocational training. This approach is survival-centered, ensuring victims are treated with dignity and supported in the journey to recover and reintegrate. How we can collectively work to combat trafficking. 1. There should be a network of non-governmental organizations to make humanitarian action more effective by collective work to influence policy and practice both locally and globally in the eradication of human trafficking. 2. To explore synergies between countries and strengthen collaboration and advocacy at the regional level. 3. Traditional institutions and religious leaders should be engaged in this fight to restore sanity in our societies and save our loved ones. In conclusion, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will continue to invest in this fight by supporting her institutions, empower the security and immigration agencies, and collaborate with civil society to ensure the total eradication of human trafficking. Thank you very much for listening.